Flag on the
Flag
field.
on the play. He was faking the spike. This is that Marino play.
This penalty is going to be against the Steelers, Charlie.
If it's against the Steelers, then it can be refused, but the official in the end zone signaled it was not a touchdown.
By the offense, number 81, flag on the snap.
Michael Jackson, a false start. Still another cost. Boy, he does. He got a running start.
He was offside by about 3 steps.
And the reason that the official signaled that it was not a catch, therefore not a touchdown, is he had picked up the play. He knew he caught a fly or a running start. That is Cleveland's 10th penalty in the ballgame, 96 yards. Oh, and it was set up perfectly.
1 minute to go. Remember, last time they got in this situation down here, Vinny Testaverde, at the end of the first half, looked for Mark Carrier, his favorite receiver from the old days at Tampa.
And he goes up in the air to Michael Jackson, and it is incomplete. And we have 59 seconds left. Cleveland with opportunities in the ballgame.
Oh, they definitely have. It's been the turnovers that have killed Bill Belichick and this Browns team today. It's a testament to his ability to really hold this team together in spite of those 3 turnovers, that they're in the game still. They're giving Bill Cowher the indigestion right here at the end, and they're doing something smart. They're taking this ball and they're throwing it into the end zone.
2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. At the 5-yard line, this one is caught by Michael Jackson. Clock continues to move. They're now at the 2. It's a first down. Jackson left, Alexander right. And it is incomplete. Going to Alexander.
Tim McKyer had the defense on that play. Good body, physical position on Derek Alexander.
39 seconds left. And remember, Cleveland is out of timeouts. The Steelers now have 1 remaining.
This formation you can afford to attack as a defense. Bring the blitz. Here it comes.
And he throws it away. He saw the blitz coming. Jackson was covered. He throws it away. Buys time.
Exactly. That was Greg Lloyd inside on the blitz that came back in off that pinched nerve and put the pressure on Testaverde, forcing him to throw that one away.
You know, Lloyd is like that bunny. He just keeps going and going and going.
So far, this game for Vinny Testaverde has been a real contrast for him. First down, he's thrown a bad pass. Second down, a bad pass. He's come back almost every single time and made a big play when it was a crunch for the Browns.
Metcalf comes across in motion. Metcalf incomplete. Can't hold on to it. It was a good pass low and away because it was away from the defender, but maybe just a bit too low and away.
There's 3 things you need. You need a good pattern, you need a good throw, you need a good catch. Good pattern, good throw, no catch. You're the money guy, you expect the ball, you got to cash the check. That one bounced.
It is 4th down and goal to go.
31 seconds to go.
The fade into the corner. No good. Steelers hold. They turn back the Browns. 26 seconds left.
And celebrate now, because if you're a Steeler fan, you're on the sideline, you're Bill Cowher. Any playoff game that has to come through Pittsburgh, the advantage tilts big time to these Steelers and these Steeler fans. They have home field advantage. Very end of the play, it's a contest in a way, but really it's no contest. Jackson, Metcalf, Vinny, not today.
So Neil O'Donnell wins the quarterback battle, the Steelers win the division, and Bill Cowher salutes 60,000 of the most vocal fans in the NFL.
So the 4 downs fail, no chance for the onside kick. It's a sad, sad day back in Cleveland because the Pittsburgh Steelers are the AFC Central champions, and the road to the Super Bowl is going through Pittsburgh.
Well, as you say, as important as the division championship is home field advantage, and no team, I suspect, after this will fancy coming back here to play.
No, because, you know, the sad thing about it, they pulled out those terrible towers to go along with that good defense there. And the offense was able to muster up some points today. So we saw today a good Pittsburgh Steelers football team.
You said that would be the difference before the game, which offense could produce, and I suppose that was the difference. The Steelers did early, the Browns couldn't late.
You're right, and Testaverde did exactly what he should have, what the Browns didn't want him to do. He turned the ball over. Threw two key interceptions that it cost the Browns, and one cost them points, and it's just a sad day in Cleveland.
All right, our man Hanford Dixon not happy. I'm sure they are in the Steelers locker room, though, and that's where we go first.
I don't think I need to say anything, to be honest with you. I mean, I think all the build-up to the game and what you saw just took place is it's what the National Football League's all about, gentlemen.
And how does it feel to be champions and with home field advantage?
Well, since words can express it, I just smile. I mean, I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
It seemed like after the aberration of the first quarter, you held them pretty well. How disappointing is this?
Well, it's disappointing in the fact that it's not necessarily that we lost, it's the fact of how we lost. And we lost with penalties, turnovers, and not executing plays. It wasn't out of them manhandling us or something like that. And hopefully we'll get another opportunity to play them and play our type of ball.
Kevin, congratulations on wrapping up the division, but how important, especially after the show they put on out there today, is home field advantage?
I mean, you can't underestimate the impact of the home crowd. I mean, they came to rock today. There was no question. The crowd was in the game. They jumped off sides 4 or 5 times. I mean, those are 5-yard penalties, man, and it's a game of inches. I mean, just home field advantage. We know we have to win 2 games at home, and we're in the show.
This is the first step, but we still have a ways to go. I mean, we still want to accomplish some things in January. This is no question. This was a big game for a football team. It was a major hurdle to cross, and I don't think you can overlook that. But at the same time, our goals and our dreams are higher.
So the Steelers are now 12-3, and the last time they won 12 games in a season, fact fans, was back in 1979, the last time they won the Super Bowl. Going into the penultimate weekend of the season, though, an NFL record 21 other teams were still in Super Bowl contention. Let's see if the playoff picture clarified at all. Here's the Week 16 roundup. Starting with a couple of Saturday games. George Seifert knew a win at home against Denver would earn his team the right to stay there with home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Broncos had John Elway back. He fumbled on their first offensive play. Next play, Steve Young hit Jerry Rice, and it was 14-0 before the Broncos had moved the ball. After that, it was more of the same. Niners clinch home field with their 10th straight win. The Lions needed a win to tie Minnesota at the top of the NFC Central. Mel Gray needed 1 touchdown return to equal the all-time record. And if you think that's a clue as to what comes next, you're right.
Gray will start from the 2. Mel Gray turns on the Jets. He's got 1 man to beat. Look at this guy. He's unbelievable.
And that's the 9th touchdown return of his career. Talking of unbelievable, Barry Sanders broke the game open in the second half with a couple of touchdown runs. Bad day for the Vikings. They lost the game, their lead at the top of the Central, and Warren Moon to a knee injury. Poor old Santa must be snowed under with requests from the Central. Everyone wants the same thing. All Jerome Bettis wants for Christmas, though, is some blocking. He carried 8 times in this game for 7 yards. By contrast, Raymond Harris had 92 yards and a touchdown. In the unseasonal heat of Chicago, the Bears get the win. The Falcons' chances of staying in the playoff race took an early blow when Jeff George broke his finger in the first quarter. But Bobby Hebert did a good job in relief, and this pass to Terrence Mathis in the 4th gave them the lead. But with time running out on the Packers' season, Brett dived in. A touchdown from Favre with 14 seconds left could be what gets Green Bay into the playoffs. Randall was out and Bubby was in as the Eagles tried to stop the rot and stay alive in the increasingly wild wildcard race.
Touchdown, Philadelphia.
The Eagles led until late in the fourth quarter when Dave Meggett rolled over Greg Jackson and into the end zone to tie the game at 13. Then on the kickoff, Jeff Seidner ran into his own man and fumbled. The Giants recovered and kicked a field goal. Eddie Murray's last-second attempt to tie it for Philadelphia was wide. The Giants have now won 5 in a row. The Eagles have lost 6. Guess who's still alive in the playoff hunt? The Cardinals are still in the NFC East race too. And they've got an early Christmas present, a healthy Garrison Hurst back running and passing.
And the pitch to Garrison Hurst. That pass into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The Cards' defense was all over Jeff Blake, sacking him 6 times as Arizona made sure of their first winning season since 1984. And while we're getting historical, the Bucs were on the trail of their first 4-game winning streak since '79. The emergence of running back Eric Rhett has a lot to do with it. He had a couple of touchdowns, including the clincher in the fourth. If the Bucs had hit this form earlier, they might be in the wild card race. As it is, the tables look like this, with Dallas still the only team definitely in from the NFC East, and Philadelphia now definitely out. The Central may not be cleared up even after the season's over. Suffice it to say that the Pack can still win the division, and the Vikings can still be eliminated. Wacky. The Saints have a faint hope if they beat Dallas in a game that kicks off in a couple of hours. That's the only sign of life in the West now outside San Francisco. So Minnesota can still clinch the last division title with a win. Catch is they have to play the 49ers without Warren Moon to do it. The other Central teams hold all 3 wildcard positions. Possible permutations will give you indigestion before Christmas has even started. The Dolphins are already in the postseason. Don Shula was after the division title, but neither offense really got going, and it was left to the Colts' Dwell Brewer to bring the game to life.
Brewer from the 26 gets upfield across the 50. No flags, Jim. No flags.
And no last-minute comebacks either. Dan Marino's pass to Mark Ingram was incomplete in the end zone, and the Dolphins stumble with the finish line in sight. That meant the Patriots could move into a first-place tie with Miami by beating the Bills. In Buffalo, with Jim Kelly out hurt, were relying on Frank Reich to keep hope alive. He hit Nate Turner for a 7-3 lead in the first. The game was tied at 17 going into half-time after Drew Bledsoe hit Vincent Brisby in the second. But in the second half, the Patriots' defense took over, forcing 4 turnovers, including this one.
And a screen for Caldwell. He fumbles. It's picked up by the Patriots. Picked up by Ricky Reynolds.
Bill Parcells, who beat Buffalo in their first Super Bowl, make sure they won't be going to their 5th. The Chargers were on the brink of clinching the AFC West for the 3rd straight week. The Jets on the brink of extinction lost Boomer Esiason when his head hit the turf after this Junior Seau hit. And it was all San Diego after that. Stan Humphries hit Mark Say for a 7-6 lead at half-time and put the game away with the kind of big play the Chargers had been missing. Chargers finally take the division. Bobby Ross would have preferred the Gatorade bath in San Diego where it's warm. That game was over by the time the Raiders played the Seahawks, so Art Shell knew his team was playing to stay alive for a wild card, and they took the lead on Harvey Williams' 5-yard run in the second quarter. Seattle tied things up with Chris Warren.
Warren. Room up the middle. Warren breaks it outside. 10-5.
Trailing in the fourth, the Raiders went to their own big playmaker.
Hostetler for Brown. Jim Brown is gone.
70 yards and the Raiders led by a point. They almost lost by 2, but Seattle's John Casey was inches wide, with time running out. Time's running out for the Chiefs to get their season back on course, but they had Joe back after 2 games out hurt. And I'm not sure whether Lake Dawson was his first choice receiver on this play. The rookie makes a great catch, and that was 14-3 Kansas City. The defense was great too, forcing 4 second-half turnovers. At 8-7, you'd think Chiefs fans would have better things to worry about. And here are the tables. It's all getting very interesting in the East, where the Patriots could sneak the division from Miami. For the Bills, though, the reign is over. Confirmation that the Steelers are champs in the Central. Their game against San Diego next week will be a battle for the psychological edge should they meet again in the playoffs. In the West, the Raiders and Chiefs are both still in wildcard contention. They have to play each other next week. Depending on results elsewhere, that could be sudden death. Here's the playoff overview to date then. If Miami hang on to win the AFC East, as they're in position to do, then it'll be Cleveland hosting a wildcard game, and these 3 teams scrambling for the last 2 playoffs.
Talked. Elvis.